Goodbye. Good night.
Oh man, a lovely new intro. Would have loved to know about that before the show. Hello! This is the WrestleCollective Weekly. I am your lovely host, Jordan Slickler Carter, but of course, I am never here alone. Always here with my collective compadres. We've got Grumpy Omega. How you doing today, man?
Kenny is champion. How bad could I be doing?
We are also joined by put your threes up, Dev. How you doing today, man?
Good. Thanks for asking.
We are also joined now we're going to go trek across the pond, and we are going to say hello to Miss Lucy. How are you today?
I'm great, thanks. But if we could hurry this up, that would be great, because Brandon Cutler is on Ring of Honor tonight.
Oh yeah, we got it. We've got to hurry. We got to hurry. We're also joined by Miss
on my Twitter. Sorry, I'm wanting to go live on Twitter, so please drop a comment if it's working.
Please. We're also joined by the lovely voice that you heard if you saw our latest video, how AEW, how stars are made. This is the face behind the lovely voice of said video, Mr. Hannibal Scorch, or as we are calling him, Hollywood Hannibal Scorch. How you doing today, man?
Hollywood Scorch, the sign he's on. Yeah, it's good. It's a Thursday. It's Collective Weekly. I've not been on for a few weeks, so let's go.
Yeah, it has been a while. We had some roster changes, some switch ups and whatnot, but I love it. The collective is deep. This is great. And I do want to say thank you to everybody watching right now. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I want to say hello to all of our new subscribers. If you're new here, I want to give a little bit of an introduction of who we are, what the Wrestle Collective is. The Wrestle Collective is, we are a group of normal wrestling fans who decided to come together and combat this thing called tribalism, one conversation at a time. So whether you're a New Japan fan, whether you're a fan of MLW, whether you're a TNA diehard, whether you're a big WWE Roman CM Punk guy, or whether you are like many of us here in this call right now, big AEW fans or Brandon Cutler fans, this is the place to be. The collective is where you can have that conversation, and feel free to just be a fan. We are we make podcasts, we make content for fans by fans, and one of the best examples of that is our latest video, AEW How Stars Are Made. So please definitely go check that out. It's done gangbusters. So obviously 11,000 people can't be wrong, right? Not all of them. So please make sure to check that video out. And again, make sure to like and hit that notification bell. But going to change things up a little bit this week, as we don't really have This Week in Wrestling History. Going to leave those to the people that belongs to. So I decided I'm going to just throw a little something fun at you guys, something I was kind of pondering myself yesterday. And I don't know, I just thought this was a fun one to kind of get you guys' opinion on. What is your kayfabe pet peeve? What is something that is within kayfabe? Because kayfabe is devoid of logic a lot of times, right? So, what is your within kayfabe pet peeve? For me, I've always hated the he's out. We're gonna check his arm bit. I've always fucking hated that. Please, also in the comments, please tell us what is your wrestling kayfabe pet peeve. I've always hated that though, because in any other combat sport, if I pick up your arm and it drops, the fight is over. You're done, right? I'm not gonna wake you up. So I've always hated that. I've never liked that. Another one of mine. So please feel free to give a couple if you got. I've never really liked the idea of the Irish whip. I understand it's crucial. I understand it's fundamental, but it's so.
That's kind of a hurdle you're going to have to get over. That's like 500 times per match.
It is, but like I'm bouncing against the ropes, so I can't control my momentum. I'm just running.
That's like saying it when Clark Kent wears his glasses. You don't like when people don't know that he's Superman.
Hold on, no, because there's there's an in canon reason for that. One,
the mind control.
Yeah,
that, and then two, and this is really broken down. He changes his stature. He makes himself look. He slumps over. He tries to make himself look shorter. He messes up his hair. He doesn't just put on glasses, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things.
Also, look what happens, right? Hannibal Scorch, Hollywood Scorch.
Who is that?
Are we all doing this?
Whoa.
Right, exactly. You see my point?
Like my librarian twin.
Whoa,
whoa.
Who's that losing?
It does work.
Hero.
What do you know?
It's like for a finger joint.
What are some of your kayfabe wrestling pet peeves? Hannibal. Oh no, Lucy.
Go on, Hannibal. You go first. You got yours stolen. I don't want to risk doing that again.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the Irish whip's a funny one because it was one of those things that when somebody pointed it out, that I'd been watching wrestling for years, and as soon as somebody pointed it out, I could never unlearn it. Do you know what I mean? So the Irish whip is a big one, but the one that really pisses me off to this day is when the ref gets distracted, somebody gets like a low blow. Because when somebody gets a low blow, what do? They fall to the ground and they're holding their groin, right? Rolling around in aggregate. And then the referee's like, come on. Like, if somebody is like laying on the ground holding their groin, chances are they've just been punched in the dick or kicked in the dick. Doesn't matter how you get hit in the groin, by the way, like it still hurts the same way. So the fact that like referees are so illogical drives me insane. And even worse than that is when they've missed their spot. So they've accidentally like turned around a bit too early and they've actually seen the spot happen and then have to pretend didn't see it. I mean, look, I understand it happens in like World Cup games, but again, it's illogical as much in a World Cup game as it is in a wrestling ring. So that's my pet peeve.
Lucy, what is your kayfabe pet peeve?
Oh, see, I don't have many. I love all the silly little tropes and things, and the whole Irish whip. It should look real. No, real fights look arse. It's just two guys windmilling at each other, trying not to throw up on a pigeon while some woman in the back screams, "Leave it, Derek, he's not worth it." No, it should look better than a real fight. But I do have one. I have one pet peeve, and it is escape the cage to win. Or anything where you have to leave the match to win the match. I don't even like count out victories. If you get a victory because someone is counted out, I don't like that either. But yeah, escape the cage to win. I hate that as a stipulation. So that is my big pet peeve. No, you shouldn't be able to just leave the match and be declared the winner of the match. Anything else, they would count you out and you would lose. So yeah.
The other problem is with the escape the cage rule as well, is how quick some people are.
Yeah.
So when they start to climb a cage and they're like, "Oh, wading through treacle, this is so big," and and they're doing this, and you're like, they could run up that if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could shin up it like a spider monkey on crack. There's no need for the dramatics. I'll just literally open the door and walk out is my least favorite. I hate that.
The best thing about that is when Jesse the Body Ventura was on commentary a few years ago in the Saturday Night's main event, I think it was, where they had a cage match where that happened, and he was shitting all over the fact that you could escape via the cage door, and you could hear the other commentators try and push him down a little bit, and it just was not working, and it just made the whole thing a mockery. Brilliant television, absolute cinema.
I hate when people commit actual crimes and don't get arrested. I mean, hitting someone in the face is a crime.
True.
Advocate sounds like a snitch.
Advocate, you're a grass.
Yeah. Grumpy, what is your kayfabe pet peeve?
I don't like stretcher and ambulance spots. I don't know. I've never liked them. I feel like they're just contrived and melodramatic. And in a business where, like, maybe I'm just being like a big, I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe I'm being too sensitive about it. But in a business where, like, you could snap your neck and be out, like, by missing a move by an inch, I don't think. Yeah. I think it's disingenuous to bring out a stretcher and pretend that somebody broke their neck. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where you don't play with someone's crutches, because you'll create bad luck for yourself to get a leg injury or something like that. It's one of those types of deals. Like, let's not make a joke of something kind of really serious.
Because I for like the first 20%, I fall for it, and then I feel like a big idiot when I realize it's a work. So
I got to agree with Carlos real quick. I hate 15 counts. That's what I call 15 or 12 counts, because it'll be 7, and then
it'd be close to 60 sometimes. To the point where refs will just follow them around, like they just decide it's a false count anywhere sometimes.
I mean,
I'd rather they just
start
counting. Yeah. I'd rather just start counting, and they were like, oh, they'll come back when they're hungry, and just watch them fight off into the stands. If you're not going to count them out, don't even start counting. Just like, no, screw that.
But Grumpy's right. There was I want to say it was last year. I think somebody got injured in WWE, and then they did a fake injury spot like a week later, and I was like, what are you guys doing? Because the problem is that when you do that trope too often, where you do like a fake injury angle, when someone gets legitimately injured, you're sat there going, oh, but if they really got hurt. And that's not cool. That's not a position you should have to be.
No. That's a lot. That's really, really awkward. Dev, what is your kayfabe pet peeve?
I don't like in tag matches when it's a multi-tag team match, more than like up to 3 or 4 tag teams competing together against each other, and it's not tornado tag stipulations. I think it's just the match feels really scrambled when there's multiple or 2 other tag teams to the turnbuckle.
There needs. Why wouldn't you have the tornado, stipulation if you're gonna have multiple, people? Like I hate that. I really, really do, because then you always get that situation where like the heel has to tag in another heel team or something like that, and they don't want to do it. Like, I've never been a fan of that. Like, just make it, and
I don't like that they can tag opponents. I don't like that either. Just like let them all fight. Guys waiting for music to play.
Yeah. Where the music, I hate that. Like, just go, just run in.
Do you remember Vampiro's one?
Play my music, guys. Where's my fucking music, guys?
I can't get in. Where's my fucking music?
Where's my music, guys? Like, to me, it would make more sense, if like someone was running out, and then like halfway down the ramp, the production team was like, oh man, he ran right past Gorilla. He went right past us. Then they hit the music. And so you maybe get like a snippet of the music or something like that,
One of my favorite things that they did that I guess kind of like broke the kayfabe rule was I think it was. I don't think it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. Maybe it was last year. But it was when I think it was Kenny and Will were facing the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks were like, "Oh yeah, our match is now." It was supposed to be the main event, but actually we're starting the show with this match. And Will Ospreay has had to come out like in his tracksuit bottoms, trying to change to get into, like, he had his gear on, but he wasn't ready for the match because he wasn't supposed to be ready for the match. So he kind of like he was like getting ready as he was walking down the aisle. And I mean that kind of thing's perfect, because how many times have we seen that trope in wrestling where, you know, suddenly something's changed. They're not going to come out now, and then the music hits and they do, and it's
I would
not
say
logical.
The opposite is true for me also, and this has happened with MJF just a couple of weeks ago. He had his match first, and he had his match. He got in, got out, and later in the show, he had a run in at the end of the show. So this is an hour and a half later, and he's still in his gear. It's like, no, at least come out in like some street clothes and make it look like you changed and like you were getting ready to leave, and then you just got inspired to come out by whatever's happening in the ring. Like you sat there you sat there for 2 hours in your trunks, just waiting for an opportunity in your tighties backstage.
I actually posted about that as it happened. I was like, he just sat there for an hour and a half in his dirty knickers.
Yeah,
so I wonder, was Punk just sitting there by the garage door like, all right, let's go. Like in full on trunks, just waiting, yep.
Full gear. In full gear.
In full gear. Like this garage door is gonna open, and that's gonna be my cue. Absolutely. Like,
full gear ready at all times, I choose to believe. Even at home, they leap out of bed full gear. The music doesn't bother me so much with the entertainment side of sports entertainment. I mean, you don't mind if the music plays as soon as Darth Vader walks in. You don't wait till he gets halfway, then hit it. And if I could have music play whenever I entered a room, I absolutely would wait for it.
Lucy, you've been to Brit wrestling shows where they've played the wrong music, right?
So many times.
That's never happened in an American company, right? Not on like AEW or WWE. Like maybe it's happened like once or something, but it's very, 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 very rare. And again, like those mistakes should be happening if they're frantically scrambling to play the music.
Right.
That's like asking why is there a spotlight on them when we didn't know they were coming up? Because it's entertainment. It's a special effect.
But that's where kayfabe is devoid of logic, and that's why, like, I love to be able to just kind of turn my brain off and just enjoy. Not necessarily turn your brain off in a sense, but like dull your senses a bit. Like enjoy the whimsical of life and entertainment, right, and creativity, right? Because that's the one thing that, like, we as adults have to all recognize, and that's why I kind of laugh at some of these Twitter takes. It's like, dude, we're all adults watching, play fighting. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like have some fun. You don't think putting your hands in your pockets is fun? Like
as fans and as adults, we need to allow ourselves to suspend our belief.
And I say that as a person who like vehemently hates Danhausen, right? I even say this to myself, like, there's okay to have some whimsy. It's okay to have some fun and be devoid of logic. You know what I mean? That's what makes wrestling. But speaking of wrestling, there's been a lot of wrestling that's been going on. We've got on the AEW side of things, we've got 2 pay-per-views to look forward to. One of them, the main event, is already kind of set in stone. The other one we're building a card towards, and then on the WWE side of things, I call it kind of a creative regression. Personally, I feel like they're going to that nostalgia bag, or that we've done this before bag. But so maybe I don't think WWE is in the strongest booking mode right now. And then you got TNA, which I want to stop right here. TNA is in a very weird, like, they were the kind of the hot product a couple of months ago, as far as this AMC deal and this partnership with WWE. And now they've kind of died down from that. And then this TNA Dark Side of the Ring comes out. And boy, I haven't gotten a chance to watch the episodes. I've been seeing a lot of the reaction. A lot of it is some stuff that we've already, if you've been a wrestling fan as long as I have, some of it is stuff that you've already kind of known, but it's just interesting to hear from the horse's mouth. Hannibal, I know you said that you got a chance to watch a couple episodes, so we didn't get to do Hannibal at the movies this week. So I guess this is Hannibal watching TV. So, what did you think of?
Oh, actually, yeah, Hannibal saw Moana. Yeah. Anyway,
okay, hold on, quick, because I did see Moana as well.
On purpose?
Ass.
Yeah. Well, I gave it a 5 out of 10, but The Rock is the worst thing in it by a country mile. He's absolutely
I think
terrible.
it's the suit. It had to be the suit that they put him in. That limits his.
No. I think the problem is, and I've been saying this for a long time, he can't act. He has a role that he has perfected, and he's the same. You saw Jungle Cruise? You saw Jumanji? Might as well have been the same film.
Might as well have been the same movie, yeah.
Same character. The Rock cannot act. He's no Batista, he's no Cena. He is The Rock. And he can't even do Maui right. Like, that's what he was known for doing. A really good voice and a really great cartoon. And in real life, he can't even turn it on. Anyway, enough about that crap. So yeah, TNA Dark Side of the Ring. So I saw the first 2 episodes. I haven't seen the third one yet because it was only on Tuesday. Look, as somebody who was watching from early on, I wasn't there right. I'm not going to pretend I was there right at the beginning because, and Lucy, I'd be interested to see how you found out about TNA because I was reading about TNA and I was following along with it, but I didn't actually get to see any TNA until I found a tape trader who I could get tapes from, and a tape would have like 2 or 3 episodes on, depending on how it was recorded, that I could then watch. That's how I was watching TNA on VHS, imported from America, that somebody recorded off their TV. But I was a fan of TNA for a long time, and during like the Impact days, it was my wrestling promotion of choice. Like, I had long got bored of WWE, and TNA was my promotion. I went and bought TNA Impact the day it came out on the PlayStation 3. Like, I was all in for TNA until probably about 2014, 15. So a lot of this I was kind of aware of. It wasn't a huge shock. And also, if you'd ever listened to the My World podcast, which I've not always listened to, but I went back to the beginning, and in those early episodes, he talks about the formation of TNA. So if you're aware of that, a lot of the story that they told wasn't particularly new. What was interesting was more the things that other people were saying. So they had Awesome Kong as a talking head, and she was talking about going in to see Dixie Carson and saying, look, I need a raise, and put this whole thing together about basically she was earning less than a manager of a McDonald's, and she was in the highest rated segments, and she was like world champion, and it wasn't fair. And she was basically asking for, I think she said like a tenth of what Kurt Angle was earning, which was about $1 million a year. So, about $100,000. And Dixie just turning around and saying, everything you've said is right, but we're not going to pay you any more money. And how multiple people were working, at a bar or at Sunglasses Hut that were champions. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. My God, what is her name?
It was.
She had the stupid sailor gimmick too. Taylor Wilde. Yes,
yeah.
Taylor Wilde.
So she was the one that worked at Sunglass Hut, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure who the one was that worked in the bar. It doesn't really matter. But the fact that you had a company that was on national TV that was, a successful promotion that had wrestlers that were still having to work public-facing day jobs or on food stamps to support themselves is just insane. If you were a Dixie Carter fan, you would probably rethink your choices after watching Dark Side of the Ring. But what I will say in her defense is, for all the things she did wrong towards the end, they wouldn't have even got there if it hadn't been for her. And I don't think they gave her enough of her flowers. They seemed to just focus on the negatives, and I don't think that was particularly fair. She didn't want to be interviewed for it, for whatever reason. So you don't hear her side of events. But yeah, it's very pro Jeff Jarrett, and I think it's good. It's going to be much better for people that know not much about the history of TNA, but it felt at times it was way more about Jeff and his struggles than it was about just TNA, the company.
I'm glad that you pointed that out, because see, Jeff gets a lot of the blame for TNA, and I don't think that's very fair, because did he book himself over a lot of the times? Yes, but who hasn't?
The problem is that people don't understand that when Jarrett was booking himself as world champion, they didn't have, you know what, the irony is time is a circle, right? And it's kind of like come all the way back around, because the reason why TNA had to have Jarrett as the champion for as long as they did is because there wasn't many consistents in the company. Like, I saw somebody the other day post, oh, well, they had Ken Shamrock and they had Ron Kiddings and they had this person. It's like, yeah, but all of these people were not going to be there for the long term. Jarrett was the only guy who was going to be there in the long term for the short term. That's the problem, because as they're experiencing now, they're signing these guys to like 3-month contracts, 6 months contracts, pay-for-play contracts. You can't build somebody up and give them like world title reigns or mid-card reigns if you don't know if they're going to be there in 2 weeks. So of course Jarrett's going to book himself as a champion because there was no one else he could trust.
Yeah, I don't know, if you're going to be here, and I need that, right?
Right.
So definitely, I'm going to check it out now. I planned on, on my days off for this weekend to check it out, because I'm a person who loved TNA, But I do want to, before we move on, Lucy, he asked you, how did you discover TNA?
Oh, it was, I don't know how you missed it the first time around, Hannibal. There was the wrestling channel in the UK.
Oh, no.
Ah.
I'm talking before that. I was watching TNA before the wrestling channel.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, The wrestling channel was incredible.
Please, Lucy, tell us about this wrestling channel really quickly.
Oh, it was amazing. It was free in the UK, and it just had all kinds of things on. I would stay up until like 3 a.m. to watch, I think it was called Gaia, a women's promotion in Japan. They had that's how I found TNA. I have always jumped ship from WWE whenever there was an alternative. I was a big ECW girl. I was a big TNA girl. Now I'm a big AEW girl. So yeah, that's how I found TNA. When did you start watching it then, Hannibal? Because it only started in like 2003 or something.
No, it started
became
in
TNA.
2000 and is it 1? No, 2002 it must have been.
Maybe
I got my first tapes in 2003. I actually got them from my first ever wrestling show, which was Frontiers of Honor. It was a Ring of Honor and FWA.
FWA! Frontier Wrestling Alliance.
The first show I ever saw live, my first ever live wrestling show, had I think his second or third match, Paul Burchill, Chris Daniels, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Hayde Vanson. No, was Hayde Vanson on the card? No, it was Jody Fleisch. Who was the other guy? Had the Wonderwell. Johnny Storm. Yeah, it was incredible. But I bought my tapes from there, yeah.
There is a tape, FWA has a tape with me on it, I will say. If I'd known we were talking about FWA, I'd have worn my shirt that I still have from their training camp. But
yes.
Yeah, certain people on this podcast have suplexed Doug Williams, all right? Don't talk to me about FWA. But yes, that is.
We had as Lucy said, we actually had a wrestling channel in the UK, and it had TNA, Ring of Honor, World of Sport, some Japanese promotions, and you could just turn it on like it was on almost like 24/7. It wasn't quite 24/7, but
that might be what My AEW is becoming now. Have you seen like all the things that have been added to the My AEW app? I think Maple Leaf is the most recent.
Debuted this morning. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm planning to. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you guys have that in America? The My AEW app?
Not yet.
You do
Oh.
have it. You do have it, but you can't pay for it. You can only have the free tier. The free
Yeah.
tier, though, does have Maple Leaf Pro on it.
I believe once the streaming, right, whatever, once they figure out this pay-per-view thing with Max, because first off, I believe that they will stay on TNT and Turner Networks. Personally, I do. I think they will stay on Turner Networks, because if you think that they're doing bad numbers for Turner, you aren't a very smart individual. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Like, they are doing very good numbers for how TV is clocked and watched today. So I think they will. And so I think the only way my AEW app will be viable in America is you have to provide pay-per-views. And until you're able to do that, you have to figure out this thing with HBO, because HBO gives us the pay-per-views right now. And there's no way they're going to want to split that revenue. So you're going to have to figure out something. Other than that, my AEW will not be a viable app in America, because I have no reason for it personally. Unless you're giving me full ROH library, full, all these, I need MLW, library, or not MLW, what is it? CMLL's library. I need all these other libraries plus pay-per-views, and that'll make me, because that's what made the network $10.99. That's what made it so great, was that I could go back and watch all of AWA, that I could go back and watch all of WCW, that I could watch Smoky Mountain Wrestling, even though who would want to do that? Smoky Mountain Wrestling was terrible. I don't give a fuck what nobody said. It was a terrible promotion. I will die on that hill. It was a terrible promotion. But moving forward, we're having some fun here. I do want to remind everybody again, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as you see when we go live. Again, if you are new here, we are the WrestleCollective. If you came from the great video that was AEW Where Stars Are Made, Hannibal is the great voice behind that. So please, if you haven't, make sure to check it out. And if you have checked it out, watch it again, because it's that good. It's that damn good. But moving forward, man, I'm just going to start in kind of the series of events that which happened this week. And so I'm going to start off with the thumbnail here and start off with Raw. So Oba Femi, King of the Ring winner, gives up his opportunity for the title in lieu of facing Brock Lesnar. This is a baffling decision to me. I do not understand it. Rarely in sports do you see somebody, rarely in wrestling, do you see somebody earn it, right? We got to see him go through and earn this opportunity. And we got to see him earn it. He went through all the people he went through, just for him to give it up and say, well, Brock was going to cost me anyways. I hate that. Imagine if Eli Manning went and said, I'm not going to try to go to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's just going to be there anyway. Right? Imagine like that. Like, if you are the ruler, you are the one, right? You shouldn't be afraid. Who cares if the odds are going to be stacked against you? You should be able to, in your mind, think that, even with the distraction of Brock, I could take on Brock and Roman. You're the ruler. Why wouldn't you think that? So I asked this question to the audience, does giving up a title shot make Oba look bad? Do you think yes? Do you think no? Or do you think, like some people think, that maybe he just wasn't ready? He's not ready. Maybe he can't afford that loss against Roman. Hannibal, I know you got some words on this, so I want to save the best for last. Grumpy, I want to start off with you. You are kind of like an old school thinker like me. You're grounded, so are you giving up an earned title shot just to face your rival for the third time?
Look, okay, I said this last week. Brock and Oba, Hell in a Cell, is going to be awesome. I will concede that 100%. It's gonna fucking be awesome, and I'm gonna watch it. And I said last week, I can understand him delaying his cash in on his title shot to get Brock out of the way. Okay, that I would totally understand. Be like, I have this one last, monster to slay, and then Roman, I'm coming for you, so be prepared. Your days are numbered. Count your days while you have your little belt, because when I'm done with Brock, I'm coming for you. I think that would have been so much cooler. But for him to stand there and give away his title shot that he earned by going through their tournament, their marquee tournament of the year, to just say, nah, I'm good. It makes him look incredibly naive. It just, what else can you say? It makes him look incredibly naive as a babyface. No, I don't need the world title. Yeah, okay, he's going to eventually win it. He probably is going to be multi-time world champion over the course of his career. He will get back around to it. And even if Brock did cost him his match, like he is predicting he would, that's classic face and heel shit, man. No one would have batted an eye at that. And it would give him a reason to get a rematch so that he still gets his opportunity for a clean cash-in on his world title shot. Giving it up just willy-nilly makes him look naive. If there was some kind of stipulation where whoever, I don't know who they have their general manager, if Paul Heyman said, I'll give you Brock if you give me your title shot, at least maybe they could have made that work. But for him to just go up there and offer it up on a platter, I think is lazy. Lazy. You don't even give us a reason? Come on, Hunter. Come on. Give us a reason.
Dev, convince me otherwise, man. Is this he looks bad, right?
No, he looks the same as he did before. In kayfabe, the rationale behind it, in kayfabe, it's convoluted. Like, they shouldn't have did this. He shouldn't have relinquished his title opportunity outright. That's kind of annoying and deflates the entire payoff of the King of the Ring. But I still like that he has the accolade of 2026 Men's King of the Ring. He has that accolade. And he said, like, it's implied that he is going to be in that main title picture down the road. Anyway, in the grand scheme of things, we all know he's going to be in that title picture. They had him against champions. They had him immediately compete with Cody Rhodes. With that aside, yeah, I understand why he thinks Brock, potentially retiring Brock, is the bigger accolade. It essentially like a modern day Undertaker streak, like putting Brock down, because we don't know where Brock, like, he can, in kayfabe, tear him apart, really write him off, leave his boots in the ring, pack him up, get him out of here. And no one can tell, like, he can be that guy. He can be world champion a lot of times over, a repeated champion. But the person that puts Brock down is kind of irreplaceable. But the way they got here is bad. That's bad. His story is bad. And I think they're stalling, with him, because they're not ready to replace any other top guys. But he still looks pretty cool to me.
Lucy, I know, again, you are admitted not the biggest Fed fan, definitely not the biggest Brock fan. So instead of asking the same question I've asked, and before I get to Hannibal, because I know Hannibal's got a lot to say on this, and I can't wait to hear. Tell me how you would possibly book it differently.
I would fire Brock Lesnar, and then I'd be done. That would just improve everything. No, I absolutely know what you're talking about. I have seen this wrestling event, and yeah, those things you liked about it, yeah, love them. Oh, the things you didn't like viewers, yeah, don't like those.
Don't like those.
The things you like, so into them. Yeah, we're like this, guys. I don't know. I'm not watching if it's not Cody, so all I can gather is he's just gone, no, I don't want this title shot. Why? I'm scared. Why couldn't he fight Brock before? Why couldn't he lose to Brock and then go get him?
He did. And then he beat him. Well, no,
So they're
actually, it was the
1-1.
other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, they're 1-1 right now. And
Well,
my thing,
match
or tell Brock, like I understand he wants to get his win back because he's most recently lost. I think beating Brock Lesnar as champion or something like that would have been better. Or I feel like we could have done two birds, one stone this, and I'm going to pass it to you, Hannibal, after this. Pull the good old double duty. Hey, I'm going to main event and I'm going to beat Roman Reigns. I'm gonna face Roman Reigns. I'm gonna beat Roman Reigns. But just before I do that, Brock, I'm gonna take care of you. So maybe he beats Brock. Since he pulled double duty, that gives reason as to why Roman beat him. So that way, Oba still looks strong. You don't have to worry about Oba looking, weak against Roman. Roman keeps the title. Roman, stays strong. I feel like there are ways around this. But Hannibal, you and I talked earlier this week. You said you had some words on this, and I'm very interested. And so what do you think about Oba giving up his earned title shot to face Brock Lesnar?
All right. Do you want to get in my DeLorean? Let's go back in time. The year is 1998. And there's this guy that's on a rather big hot streak. His name is Bill Goldberg. And he decides, because he's been on this hot streak, because he's been winning all these matches, the next thing you do is you go for the world title. But the world title is held by Hulk Hogan, who at this current time, like me, is Hollywood. And he says, you know what? I want to fight you, Hulk Hogan, but not for the title, because I know the NWR are going to interfere and cost me it. How do you look at Bill Goldberg when he says that?
I wouldn't. That would have killed some of the mystique for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't. And you know what? That's kind of how I feel. Like you have a balloon and you kind of just do that to the top. You don't let all the air out. You just let a little bit out. That's kind of how I feel about Oba right now. And that is a very, very apropos, very beautiful way you put it. Like, yeah, I'm not really scared anymore, because why are you scared?
And of course, the only time to do that to a balloon is when it's a helium balloon and you want to say something hilarious. But but that's the problem is you have this guy telling you he's the ruler, that he is the next big thing. He's basically what Brock was 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And now he's running away from that because, yeah, I'm gonna get screwed out. So what's the point of me doing it? No. If you are the next big thing, if you are this monster, if you are this ruler, this conqueror that you say you are, then the last thing you do is you back down from a challenge, because it makes you look like a chump. And the problem is, we've said this so many times in various spaces on various podcasts, like the one big thing that WWE have got a problem with is building new stars, young stars. You have somebody that's handed you on a silver platter like Oba Femi, who even I'm impressed with. And you do all this wonderful presentation of him, and then this is what you give us. This is what you do. And I already felt that they killed Tommy Zora the first time round when he fought Brock at WrestleMania. Not because he didn't do what he did in the match, because by all accounts, that should have been the rocket to the top of the card. The problem was the fake retirement afterwards took the complete shine off of the match. And I said that at the time as well. It had gone from, oh my God, Oba's just beating Brock Lesnar, to, oh shit, Brock Lesnar's retiring and we didn't know, and he's left his boots in the ring and he's ignoring everybody and he's looking really sad for a fake out, because that's what it was. It was a fake out. So, what the fuck are they doing? They are killing the aura. They've done it to Bron Breakker. They're now doing it to Oba Femi. And Michael Cole will turn around and tell the IWC, like he has with Sami Zayn, let it play out. You don't know what's going to happen. Sure, I don't know what the end game is here. I don't know how this story is going to end. What I'm telling you right now is you're making, one of your biggest new stars look like a fool. How am I supposed to buy into that after you've already told me this guy is lying about who he is?
Because Grumpy said it, Dev said it. He will become champion, but will it feel like, even if he lost, let's say he did lose, like he would challenge Roman and he loses, right? Or if he challenged CM Punk and he would have lost, right? When he eventually does win it, would it change anything?
Again, you've got to compare him to Brock Lesnar, right? Because that's what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you he's a new Brock Lesnar. What did Brock Lesnar do? Right, he debuted.
He had one of the best rookie years next to Kurt Angle.
2002, 2003, whenever it was. He was a champion by what? SummerSlam, if I remember. Like, he was just going through the roster. He was going through that roster like a hot knife through butter. Became champion. None of this stop-start bullshit. They got the rocket, strapped to his back, and let him fly to the moon. That is what they could have done with Oba Femi. They haven't. Instead, they made everything too convoluted. And I know people don't like repeats in wrestling because there's a lot of repeats in wrestling. But you had the opportunity to do something that people hadn't seen for 25 years. The people that are watching WWE now, other than the people here in this room and the people that are taking their kids to WWE events, the main audience now is kids. They don't know what Brock Lesnar did when he first came into the business. They didn't see what happened there. They can read up on it. They can watch highlights. They didn't experience it in real time. And we saw somebody being brought in who we hadn't seen before, run through that roster like it was nothing, become champion within months. They could have done that with Oba, and they chose not to.
One of my biggest problems is this as well, and I hate to make it about what I'm about to make it about. Actually, no, I don't hate it. I love what I'm about to make it about. Why would you, Oba Femi, and I'm looking down the camera here, why would you, Oba Femi, give up an opportunity to make history, to be another black heavyweight champion? And not only just another black heavyweight champion, I want to say he would be either the youngest or one of the youngest black heavyweight champions we would have had.
He'd be one of the youngest champions, full stop.
Full stop.
Take that out of it. Like, I know that's important as well, but I mean, just in history.
Just that, in the history. Why wouldn't you, why give up a chance to chase history, right? And to me, that's legacy. You have an opportunity to really cement yourself as a star. WWE had an opportunity to take Oba, who right now is a great, he's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Let's just keep it a buck. He ain't had, I ain't seen no 15-minute banger from Oba. I haven't seen what would be considered a overall 4-star, 5-star match or even storyline. The best parts of this storyline have been Brock Lesnar. Let's just be honest, right? You have an opportunity to make Oba Femi the new Rock. As in, when I say the new Rock, I'm not talking about charisma. He's not. No one's gonna fill that void. But like me, young black kid, when I was watching WWE as a kid, I had a few people I could look up to. Booker T and The Rock were two main ones. If you don't think that there's some young black kid looking up at Oba Femi right now saying, man, I want to recreate that, I want to do that, and you take it away to face Brock Lesnar, who, like, okay, cool, but like,
Well, I will say, good things come to those who wait. And when the day finally comes that he beats the dog shit out of Cody Rhodes for that belt, it'll be worth it.
So
then Cody will dye his hair black and come back 3 weeks later and win the belt back. So it's all good.
Speaking of Cody Rhodes, I do want to transition and do a little bit more WWE talk. But I said earlier, and I want to get you guys' opinions, that I feel like WWE is kind of, again, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again, kind of regressing. We've got Enzo and Cass on the way back. CM Punk's doing the Summer of Punk again, and Punk and Cody. I am not. I thought I'd be interested. Zilch. I do not care about those two going against each other. I do not care. There's nothing that is bringing me to want to watch them. We've got Seth and Roman, who I think cut the most generic promos on each other ever. Like Roman Reigns' promos are starting to become like they're starting to blur all together. They all kind of sound the same.
You know what they need to bring back? And specifically in wrestling, because I don't think we've ever seen it. Yo Mama.
Right?
Let Roman and Seth have a Yo Mama off.
That pretty much, just let them do that. I mean, that'll be more entertaining than oh, we're doing this again. Oh my gosh. Oh, the Shield. We're like that's just And then one of the another things I really want to talk about, I kind of want to stop here, is what happened to Braun Breaker? I thought Braun Breaker should be in one of these spots. Personally, I think Braun Breaker should be going up against CM Punk. Braun Breaker should be going up against Roman. What the fuck are we doing? What happened to Braun Breaker? Can someone please tell me? Well, I understand he got injured, but what? He's back doing nothing again. Like, I don't really know what's kind of really going on.
I personally think they might have a little bit of buyer's remorse, possibly. Yeah, Cat's right, by the way. But what I mean by that is when I was watching him in NXT, I could see the guy was talented. Don't get me wrong. Of course, he can be a superstar, but he wasn't. He still looked quite green to me. He didn't look like he was the full package yet. And the biggest problem for me with NXT is that I feel more often than not they're putting people on the main roster when they're not quite there, and hoping and seeing if they sink or swim. And this isn't new. Like, we've seen it, like when they brought DIY up the first time, when we got Adam Cole on the main roster, when we got Keith Lee on the main roster. We were seeing these people that were the draw in NXT suddenly go onto the main roster and look a bit lost. And sometimes that was because they weren't ready. In most cases, it was down to creative. Like, I'm not saying Adam Cole wasn't ready for TV, of course he was, but it was the creative with him. But I feel that they are sticking people too quickly because they know they need to push some more younger talent. I don't think Braun Breaker is there yet. And I think they've tried to give him that push and thought, you know what, I don't think he's quite got it yet. And then what do you do? Do you send him back down to NXT? That looks like a really bad demotion. Or do you just push him a bit further down? She should be nowhere near. She should be on LFG. Or do you push him down to like the mid card, push him back down to the mid card, and hope that you kind of like just give him some more reps, and then he will improve, and then you can try and push him back up the card. They just don't really seem to know what to do with it.
Because I asked you guys this in our chat, just randomly. Where's Jordan Grace too? Right? Like, where are some of these new faces? And that's my problem right now with WWE. It doesn't feel like we've progressed anywhere from 5 years ago. Everybody was on.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Just to that point about progression is, and I want to make a concession that, yes, they're calling back to the Shield, which was 10 years ago now, over 10 years ago. But to be fair, AEW fans want a callback to New Japan Bullet Club. So I would say you can't diss one and then praise the other. You got to be fair.
So the biggest difference in that is that I think the Bullet Club has a much more storied history than the Shield. If you take away the chair shot from the Shield, What do you got? What do you really got? You got with the Bullet Club. You've got Adam Cole's introduction. You've got pretty much every leader being kicked out. That is a story within itself. Then you have the Civil War that created the Elite, and then another Civil War which created the Cutthroat era, and then another Civil War which created the Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like there's literal layers to Bullet Club. So that would be my only like pushback, but you are right. AEW fans long for something in the past the same way WWE is. So if we're gonna call a spade, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, but AEW doesn't have its own history to call upon. WWE has decades of other things that they could be calling upon, but they keep falling back on this one thing. AEW has to draw from other companies. But I would say they have me defending AEW, what a shock. I would say they have more of an excuse just because that's all that's available.
You know, because that's, and I'm glad that you said that, because that is what the collective is all about, right? We're here to have conversation. We're here to open up minds and change, and things. Maybe not change your mind, maybe open up your mind, maybe show you something a little bit different. And we do that by just civil conversation. The WrestleCollective is here, made by fans, for the fans, just killing tribalism, one simple conversation at a time. And if you like what we do, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as we go live every Thursday. But to get off of regressive, boring WWE, we've got 2 pay-per-views on the AEW side to look forward to. Redemption, and then, of course, like I said, we have the main event for All In Wembley set. And so I want to stop there really quickly because they had a promo last night. So last night, Kenny Omega comes out in a suit, which he looks very uncomfortable in suits, by the way. I don't, he's something about...
It's just giant tits, man. They don't fit in the shirt.
It's not. It's not. Look, at least it fits him. Like, I know. Look, I will say this: props to John Cena. Since he stopped wrestling, he's found a tailor. Great for him. But before, he looked like he was in Vince's hand-me-downs.
Yeah. Those big giant suits.
Never.
Yeah. But he just looks a little like I'm clearly only wearing this for TV. So as soon as that red light is over, put me on some something more comfortable. But to celebrate and his win, I love the collage of pictures and the Omega symbol and whatnot. Will Ospreay comes out. Let's talk about it. I didn't really like the line. He said, this is like real life Goku and Vegeta fighting each other. I thought that line was a little corny. I didn't really like it. Because cool.
What would you have liked? What would you have liked? Because the thing is, look, I'm not a Dragon Ball guy, right? Which will come as a shock to people that know me because I'm a geek. But I was never a Dragon Ball guy, and I obviously understand the reference, but it's really, really caused a division in the IWC today. So what would you have done instead?
I would have liked some corporate synergy and going with a DC reference and saying this is Batman versus Superman. This is world's finest going against each other. I understand maybe they aren't looked at as Batman versus, and Superman, but you can kind of say that they kind of are too. You know what I mean? I would have liked something like that. Give me a more grounded reference, something that's not so like just on the nose. This is Goku and Vegeta. Who's who? For one, who's who? Who is going to be
they
Vegeta?
Each disagree on that. I think would be the.
That is kind of the thing. Is that I guess no one wants to be the Vegeta. Some people, we all like to think that we are. But. I don't know. That one particular line made me look at Will Ospreay like how Jim Cornette looks at him. Like that was the one time I was like, "Oh, come on, Twinkle Toes!" Like that's not a good you know what I mean? I just didn't like that particular line. It was a little bit corny for me. Again, maybe a corporate synergy. Maybe you go with a DC reference. Maybe this is This is Tim Drake Robin versus Dick Grayson Robin. I don't know, something like something a little bit more grounded, but not
Lucy, you like the line. You like the line.
yeah. So I was gonna say, yeah, you like the line. What did you think of the promo? What did you think of Kenny's celebration?
I think for wrestling fans to start calling something corny and geeky and niche and nerdy, it's like the call is coming from inside the house, guys. We're wrestling fans. We're all fucking nerds. I mean, yeah, people have complained. Oh, it's nerdy. Oh, it's too oh, lighten up, Fun Sponge. They're both massive anime fans. Fans have been calling it this for months now. We've been making memes of them as these characters. We've done deep dives into why they are these characters. They mention it on TV once, and it's like, oh, here come the vibe hoovers to suck up all the fun. No, it was one line. Will Ospreay is a dog. He's a massive dog. So is Kenny Omega. It was good fun. I think fixating on one line is a bit much, especially coming from bloody wrestling fans. My God, we can't claim to be cool. You could have dropped like a Robin reference, but who did you say? Timothy Drake.
I said Tim Drake and Dick Grayson.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to know who that is. They're going to be there going,
right. I say that as the biggest comic book nerd in the world. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, Batman vs Superman would have worked, but at the same time, I think that's a bit too much. Like, I think if you were calling
ever compared them to those characters, that would
and so I think that's part of it, right? Like, there's been comparisons, especially with Will, about anime in general, but particularly about Dragon Ball, because of the things that he's done in the ring. So I got the reference. I understood why they did it. It was a bit silly, but I mean, we were all complaining about Jey Uso the other week, right?
Boom! That's your one. All right, my fault.
Right. Do you know what I mean? Like, wrestling is full of corny liners. I don't know why this one is worse than others, other than the fact of who actually said it.
20 minutes ago, we were embracing whimsy.
True. I love how during that promo, by the way, he was quickly doing, and that's your one shot. Boom. That's your one shot. That's my favorite part of the promo, by the way. Jey Uso, keep Jey Usoing. I will always defend you, Us. It's just us, Us. Yeet, yeet. Grumpy Omega, again, being Mr. Grumpy Omega. What did you think of the promo? What did you think of the celebration?
That Vegeta and Goku line completely went over my head. I don't know. I must have been not paying attention for a minute. I thought, other than that, so I have kind of been on the outside looking in for all the kerfuffle about it. But just seeing the two of them there side by side, and for Kenny to say that, you're going to get the best version of Kenny Omega ever, and I'm like, oh, he's been training for this. He's been waiting for this. He's been looking forward to this. He's been preparing for this. We're going to finally Kenny's finally going to be the main event of All In after four All. This will be the fourth All In. Kenny's finally the main event of All In. Yeah, he's had a match at each one. Yeah, they've been big matches. This is the big one. We finally got around to.
He hasn't. He didn't have one at the second All In.
Oh, that's right. You're right. The second one.
He was still injured, but
yeah.
But your point stands. Yeah.
So yeah, we finally built up to Kenny, who I've wanted to be in the main event ever since it was first announced. Last year, Slick, you and I got to see him face Okada. That was a huge match. Wasn't the main event. Now he's in the main event with the other biggest, I would say the other most popular wrestler in the company. So this being the main event of the biggest show of the year for them, I'm so excited. I love it. I can't wait. Kenny's got to have this little pit stop with Kevin Knight, which is fine. He had something to do at Redemption as champion. But I will say, I thought it was interesting when Kevin Knight came out and Will was about to leave. Kenny said, no, Will, you can stay. And then he said to Kevin, was talking at Kevin, saying, basically talking about Don, be careful who you hitch your wagon to, be careful who you trust. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like he wanted Will to hear that too.
That's right.
regarding the Death Riders. So I really like that little bit.
Right.
Dev,
You've been there with Don Callis, Will. Look, I'm just reminding you what happened with him. You know, Mox is right there, another evil bald guy. Yes.
Dev, what do you think about that? And then Lucy, I want to get to you because I know you got some more comments on this. And Dev, what did you think about the promo and whatnot?
The whole celebration took way too long.
Thank you. I was waiting on somebody to say that. I was like, please, somebody talk about how long it went. Thank you.
Why, like, just fight. Like, the way, the kind of history these two have had, they shouldn't have not been talking that long.
I'm throwing up alley-oops. I'm like, man, ain't nobody going to talk about how long this segment was.
Samoa Joe said that one time. Remember how he said, I don't talk in promos if we're not fighting.
We had like 3 different people talk. Like, we had Kevin talk. No, we had like 4 different people. The Bucks talked. Kenny talked. Kevin talked. Will talked. Like, come on.
I don't know. And they wasn't saying anything. So there's that too. And Will's line, I've noticed that Will, a lot of his promos get a lot of buzz, and it usually seems like it's for the wrong reason. I don't know. I think this supports my claim that he's a heel. He's silently done a heel turn just by joining the Death Riders. Like, yeah, the Dragon Ball line, it was harmless. I'm glad they're having fun, but it was lame. Like, that's Will Ospreay has been putting out a lot of shitters.
Before I get to your overall thoughts, Hannibal, I want to stop back at Lucy because Lucy, you said something that I also thought was interesting and kind of jumped ahead of my line of thinking. So I want to ask you this right now while it's still fresh. Because there was another promo that was backstage, and that was with Kenny and John Moxley. And essentially kind of alluding that, you know, you can't really hide your true self, essentially. I'm paraphrasing a lot of what the promo was. So I want to ask you straight up, what do you feel like there's a turn coming with somebody? Because again, you kind of, you talked some things about the Death Riders and Will. What do you think? What do you feel? You know, you are very locked in and tuned in. So what do you think?
No, I don't think there's a turn coming. I think Tony Khan is booking his SummerSlam 92 moment at Wembley Stadium. British Bulldog Bret Hart, British challenger, Canadian champion, good friends, both crowd favorites, Wembley Stadium main event. And I don't think there's a turn coming. I personally would have had Mox be the one Kenny faced at Redemption, just to give Will that chance to see the different options, the differences between them. I understand they had to very, very quickly change the Redemption main event because it was meant to be MJF. MJF wasn't able to do that. I assume because he's leaving to get his leg looked at, but I would have had it be Mox. So no, I don't. I think Ospreay will eventually choose the good side. If we do get a heel turn in future, Ospreay will choose the good side. If we do get a heel turn in future, I think it's going to be Ospreay back to the Commonwealth Kingpin. I don't think Kenny turns anytime soon.
So, Hannibal, what did you how do you like celebration segments? What did you think about this? How did you in particular, you saw the line itself? Because you had some comments where, you said it didn't really bother you too much.
No, it's wrestling. It's silly, geeky shit that we watch. If you can't be silly and geeky in wrestling, what were you here for? So it didn't bother me, whatever. In terms of like, you asked for like celebration angle or segments, not particularly. If I'm honest, not a big fan. Not that I don't like them, it's just they take up a lot of time. I mean, this took up 20 minutes. There was a 20-minute overrun. There's a 20-minute overrun because that promo went on for 20 minutes. I don't
care. 20-minute overrun.
I don't care there's a 20-minute overrun personally, but I'm just pointing out the obvious here. It was a 2-hour show that was dragged out to 2 hours 20 because of that reason. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan. It could have been done in a lot less time. I like what they're building towards, and I agree with Lucy. I think this is probably SummerSlam 92 moment. And I mean, man, little 9-year-old me watching that match. It's still a match that I've gone back. I've watched it numerous times over the years. Like, it's just an amazing match anyway. But yeah, you had two faces, which people don't seem to like. People don't like face versus face and heel versus heel. I think you can do them quite well. I don't think you need to distinctly have everything be a face versus a heel. Like, that's not interesting to me. So I think it's fine. I don't think there's going to be a turn. I think the only turn we're going to see is probably the Death Riders on Will. He wins the big one, and they turn on him. But that's the only heel that I can see.
Speaking of turns, go ahead, Dad.
Did you see Advocate's comment? He would limit Kenny promos to one sentence.
I thought that was funny.
That's the only time you will ever
I actually,
to be see me agree with him.
To be honest, I think Kenny. I've seen like complaints about Kenny and Will over the years. I think they've both got better in their promos. I'm not saying they're like the best or anything like that, but I mean, there's a lot worse people, a lot less entertaining people. Kevin Knight is also somebody who's got a lot of complaints about his promos. I think he's getting better. Maybe that comes with time. Maybe that comes with opportunity. Maybe someone's working with him backstage. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I care about what happens on TV.
I'm glad that you went there with the Kevin Knight, because I do want to talk about Kevin Knight. First off, his promo. I'll tell you what Kevin Knight's problem is with his promos. He's trying too hard to sound. He has that Rock Ricky cadence to him, where he's talking in third person. I'm sorry, there's only one person who can do that successfully.
Well, Hannibal disagrees with that. So when he calls himself, like, just either stick with the Jet or you know what I mean. Don't. I do agree. Like, he doesn't sound as confident. But I do want to bring up the idea of someone saying, I saw somewhere, and this was just on the Twitterverse, that Kevin is undeserving. Kevin shouldn't be facing, getting a title shot opportunity. Or they said, I saw another comment that said, and shout out to Juice Springsteen, because I want to say he commented back on this. That's how I found it. Was that I don't like the idea of mid-card champions facing for the main champion. I think that's kind of stupid. That's the whole point of being the mid-card champion, is that, hey, I've earned the right to now be in the realm of conversation for the main event. No, so here's the thing, which I think was his point, and you might still disagree with this, but if you're mid-card champion, you shouldn't be fighting for the world title whilst you've got the belt. Now, once he drops that belt, then I think fair enough. And there used to be, I can't remember what the actual term was they had in TNA, but do you remember if you was the X Division champion, you could have a world title shot? You had to relinquish the X Division title to have that world title shot. I think that's a good stipulation.
Love that rule. Yeah, I love that rule.
So the thing is, if that's what they do with Kevin Knight and saying, you know what, you're the mid-card champion. If you want this title shot, you've got to drop the belt. You've got to give it up. I think that'd be reasonable, because the problem is that how many times have we seen somebody be, the mid-card champion and win the world title at the same time? A few times it's happened. Obviously, Warrior Hogan was probably the first one. Certainly the first one I ever saw. But the point is, you shouldn't be doing that, right? You shouldn't have two big titles. If you want to be a tag champion and a mid-card champion at the same time, fine. If you want to be a tag champion and a world champion, I can jive with that as well. But to be like the mid-card champion and a world champion, I just think it's too much.
So what do you I personally, I like it, right? I like the idea. Like, one of the greatest visuals in wrestling to me was when Goldberg won, and he's up on the top rope. In one hand, he's got the U.S. title, which, by the way, I think the WCW U.S. title is one of the best versions looking of the title ever. So he's got one hand's got the U.S. title, the other hand's got the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's one of the coolest, greatest visuals of wrestling. Same thing. Seth Rollins did the same thing, right? I don't mind, a double champion, a mid card, and are we sure Kevin Knight walks in? I don't know who. Well, no. Darby probably beats him, unfortunately. But can we talk about the Hearth?
I don't know. Darby looks good with a belt around his shoulder, so I don't know.
I mean, Darby being what he would be a 3-time TNA champ, or not TNT champ, 4-time TNT champ.
I think there's something to be said for Kevin reaching too far too fast as part of the family, and not only losing his chance at the world title, but then losing the TNT title, and has to go back to Don and explain why he's now Kevin no belts instead of Kevin 2 belts.
Because he split his focus, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the other problem as well is that you've got a faction in the Don Callis family where all of them want to be a champion. Like, you can see Okada's disdain, right? At some of the other people in the family, they've got title belts and he doesn't have one at the moment. There's a lot to be said there. So there is a lot of competition about, who has belts and who doesn't have belts. It plays into a lot. But yeah, for me, I think Kevin Knight really shouldn't be. The Kevin 2 belts thing as a mid and world champion just doesn't work for me.
Well, I got a bit of a surprise for not only you guys, but a bit, for the guests, people watching. Again, there's 2 huge Kenny Omega fans that I know. One of them is right here in this call. Very good friend of mine. Is Kenny on the show?
We have got Kenny Omega.
No, did you let him out of the basement?
No. But Queens Road host and fellow collective member, we have Taylor here. To one of the biggest Kenny Omega fans that I know. I know she wants to talk Kenny Omega's win, and I wanted her to be here to talk Kenny Omega's win.
Yes, please.
On the weekly show. So please.
Yes.
How did you feel about his win? What did you think about the promo last night in the celebration segment?
Well, I feel like whoever was in the call knew how I felt about his win. I definitely cried. It's been a long time coming. But
Uh-oh.
No.
So excited, she's vanished.
She's so excited. We lost her for a moment. We're gonna get her back. I'm pretty sure she got a phone call. But yeah, we will get her back as soon as we possibly can. Because I definitely want to hear what she has to say. Okay, I think we got her back. All right, cool.
I'm so sorry. My dad called.
No, you're good. You're good.
We were just killing time till you got back.
Yeah.
But no, Kenny, for me, is a big reason about why I got back into professional wrestling. Back in 2020, like during COVID, I had a rough patch of I just watched WWE and all the things that were happening there were oh, this sucks. So I stopped watching for a little bit and slowly got back into it. And then, found out Kenny was coming back for the trios tournament in 22. So that's when I really locked in. So I knew of Kenny's championship run from, the COVID era when he was a heel and everything. So to see him have the big one as a baby face, really meant a lot. Mostly, one, because that's my favorite wrestler, but 2, to know the struggles and things that he has gone through to get back to where he's at right now. And I say this too, not only for me, because I don't struggle with that, but my grandpa battled diverticulitis, so I've seen what happens. But for Soto, also fellow collective member and Queens Road host, who is also a very big fan of Kenny and also had a big emotional reaction to Kenny's win, seeing as, Kenny resonates a lot with Soto, who deals with chronic illness as well. So I did cry a lot. There may or may not be.
I cried when Kofi won.
There may or may
So-
not be photos of it somewhere, but
No, I cried when Kofi won. I think that's one of the greatest things about wrestling is that it can pull out this visceral emotional reaction, and I love that Kenny Omega is able to do that. Like, and that's why I wanted to bring you on, because Kenny being champion is monumental for fans and for the company. It's been so long since we've seen him, and in the start, I don't know if people remember 2018, early 2019, people thought, oh, Kenny's going to be the first champion. He's just going to book himself as champion. Oh, Kenny's going to be a 5-time, 6-time world champion. He's just going to keep booking himself as champion. He was the third champion, I want to say, and then didn't win it for a long time after that.
5 years.
So you know what I mean? So this is very monumental and important. Like, I would say this is as big as if Cody Rhodes were to ever win the AEW title. Arrest me, shoot me if you want. Cody Rhodes holding that title would have been monumental. I don't care what anybody says.
No,
it would have been monumental. But it's like that. So I'm glad. Yeah, So hold on. We got 21 again. 5 years since we've seen Kenny hold the title, and we've seen him change. Right, he was heel running with Don Callis. He had that tag run. I like to call it whiskey and milk, with Hangman. Then going away, coming back as going away because of Pepsi Man, and then coming back with Wayward Son.
That was another moment where I definitely shed a tear.
You know what I mean? So this Kenny win, the Golden Jets. People kind of forget about that.
I kind of forget about that.
No, let's talk about Golden Jets. Golden Jets.
The golden part isn't from Kenny, it's from Kota.
That didn't happen.
But
I don't know why people
keep
keep saying this. I'm being gaslit into this Golden Jets nonsense that never happened. So
there was merch. It happened.
I don't know what that is.
There was merch. There was merch. It happened. There was merch. But no, Taylor. So let me ask you this, Taylor, before we let you go, and appreciate you coming on for a little bit. What do you think about Kevin Knight, Kenny Omega?
Okay. I literally just talked to my friend about this morning as I was driving into work because I had thoughts. I do not like the fact that Kevin, being the TNT champion, is going after the world title. I feel like if there was a bigger name in the Don Callis family that could have gone after that belt at a pay-per-view called Redemption. Who needs redemption from last year's All In? Kenny against Kazuchika Okada. I was hoping it would have been Okada. They've never wrestled each other in Canada. Kenny would have got his win back. It wouldn't have hurt Okada. I don't necessarily think it's going to hurt Kevin Knight, but also...
Have they ever faced when Kenny was champion? I know most of the times Okada's been champion when they faced.
The last... I know. I feel like Kenny won the belt. I don't remember.
No, he's always beaten Okada for the belt. I don't think Okada has ever challenged Kenny for the belt.
So that
would have been a very interesting dichotomy.
Yes. And I feel like, I don't know, because I've seen the matches that have come out so far for Redemption, and aside from like Willow and Tekla, and Bandito and Kyle Fletcher, I really don't have any interest in the card. And I love Kenny Omega and Kevin Knight. Like, this is not, I love both of them, but like you're running Kevin and Darby next week to make up for the fact that we're not. And I understand the TNT Championship is a TV belt, but that hasn't stopped it from being defended on pay-per-view before. So I would have rather they either ran Darby and Kevin Knight at Redemption, or they would have ran Speedball Kevin Knight at Redemption.
I would have, being apropos with the name, Speedball Kevin Knight would have been really, really cool. And honestly, that's something that could like co-main event, being TNT title holder. I would have liked that. But I'll put it to you like this. I definitely see Speedball getting involved with the Darby match. I think somehow, some way. he's going to get involved. Taylor, I want to say thank you for hopping on. Like I said, I told you I wanted you to get on and talk about Kenny. I wanted you to get on and talk about Kenny. Do you guys have a date for the next Queens Road?
I actually think it's the day of Redemption. I think we're going on earlier in the afternoon. So
Okay.
July 26th.
So it's going to be a long day for you guys. So please check us out. Check out Queens Road. Again, it's our podcast all dedicated to all things women's wrestling. I love it. It's a great IP. Definitely check out the last episode where they interviewed Kid Bandit. That was really, really cool. That was actually a very, very fun episode. So definitely check that out. Taylor, do you have anything else you want to say? Any other promos you want to get out there?
Well, I did just post a video on my YouTube, so if y'all want to go check it out, it's from the G1. I went last weekend, so go check that out.
Yes.
It's my YouTube's the same as my my Twitter handle, so it's at Devil Sky with 2 S's. Sky Blue is wrestling in Stardom this weekend for the Artist of Stardom Trios belts with Tekla and Julia Hart. So I'm excited to see her wrestle over there. And Kenny Omega is the best bout machine and the best wrestler of all time. And Sky Blue Supremacy, as Carlos just said.
Thank you, Taylor. Definitely make sure to check out Queens Road. We'll see you later, Taylor. Thank you. Well, I got another bit of a surprise for you guys. This one has been a long time coming. It's been a great episode, guys. Here to talk a little bit of Redemption, Kenny Omega, and give his thoughts.
It's
we got
Kenny
my brother.
Omega. Oh,
my man,
Kenny Omega.
Hey, there he is.
A lot less hair,
Yay.
a lot less muscles, but yes, Kenny Omega here. No, first of all, great show. I watch it normally while I'm working out, and this was a good one. Great discussion. I think what we're missing here is, why is it a problem? I see the discourse, not so much you guys, but just in general. Why is it a problem that Kevin Knight's getting an opportunity? Because he's holding a championship? Shame on him. Shame on him.
That's what I'm saying.
We got to get to All In, right? So if Kenny wins, then he's at All In. And the goal, which Lucy has said for I don't know how long now, is that, and I agree, Tony's doing Wembley 92. So we got to get there. Who do you want Kenny to beat? Kevin Knight, give the kid an opportunity. Let's see if he could shine. Does his promos need work? Sure. Can we fix that? We can. Does his wrestling need work? No.
I agree. I don't think holding a title should stop anything. You know what I mean? I if anything, I think it gives you more credibility to challenge.
Sure.
You know, for the main title. You know,
Hannibal, you need a haircut.
You know, that's what
I'm just messing with you, man. It's good to see you.
You know, I want to ask you too, Andrew, since we're going to go back a little bit because we didn't have.
I want to tell you something. You, my mother, and my wife are the only 3 people who call me Andrew. But go ahead.
Oh well, you know.
Go ahead.
Wait, what are we supposed to call you?
Well, if you know me well enough, you call me by something else. But I'm not gonna put that out there because then I'll have cretins online calling me.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to call me Andrew. Go ahead. It's just weird hearing.
I just, I'm sorry.
It's my
I'm very
government
formal.
name. You're right. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're gonna go back a little bit
backstage.
since we didn't, we didn't have our show today. We'll be back next week though, so definitely check us out. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it again next week, but I want to talk about it now that I got you. Oba Femi giving up his title opportunity.
Dumb.
Just don't like it off top. I like that.
For me, and I mean, you spoke about this privately, but why not just have Seth Rollins win the King of the Ring, have Brock screw Oba, and we could be in the same damn position we're in. And I don't like when they don't do things that I predict. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But this was very much we see what everyone's saying online. So let's throw a curveball and then a screwball and then another changeup so they don't get it. And that was just weird to me. Oba's just going to not want to fight for what everybody supposedly wants to be in this business for, just because he has to have this blood feud with Brock. To steal a line for some people, it's bankrupt creatively. That was just a weird way to get here, and we didn't need to have it. Am I excited for the match? Yes, I am. I want to see Hell in a Cell with these two behemoths, but very strange how we got here.
I did not compare it, but I said, could you imagine if Goldberg had done that to Hogan back in '98?
Bro, forget about that, Hannibal. If any of the diehard WWE people, if they did this, like the fans, if they did this in AEW, we would never hear the end of it. Creatively, we would never hear the end of it. You guys don't know what you're doing. Why are you doing this? They're just throwing shit against the wall, but they're making chicken salad out of chicken shit because it's the company that they root for, which is crazy to me. It just doesn't. If it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't make any sense.
Imagine Will Ospreay saying, "You know what, Kenny? I want to face you, but I got some unfinished business with Kyle Fletcher."
Right. I don't want the richest prize in the game. I don't.
No,
I want to go get.
No.
Yeah, for me, I don't get it. I
don't. What did you think about the segment itself? Did you think it was a little bit too long? Did you like
Which
some
one?
of the celebration segment from Kenny's last night?
Anything with Kenny Omega in the World Heavyweight Championship is A+ for me. That man is that for me. That's who I attach my rocket ship to until we can find somebody to take it. MJF's one of those guys too, he's there, but I'm a big Kenny Omega fan. Kenny shows up to wrestle. He can cut a promo. People say he can't speak. I think that's crazy. You'll never hear me disparage Kenny. He doesn't have a bad match in him, truthfully.
No. And something, I want to bring up that we talked privately, and I want to bring it up here since we're, because I want everybody else to get involved in this, is that, you and I talked about Will Ospreay, and it's hard to kind of sink your teeth into him a little bit sometimes. Said the words, I can't find myself being emotionally attached to him outside of I just know he's going to do good matches. So how are you feeling? Like, are you just going into All In knowing that, like, I know he's going to win? Are you any more invested in this match than you were before?
Yeah, you're invested in it because you want to see him have his crowning moment. And then it's what we do afterwards with him that will tell us whether or not he's either the guy or we've done well by him. For me, I'm with you, and I might be in the minority with it, but Will had an organic connection to this crowd. And little by little, I'm starting to see maybe pockets of it that are disappearing. And maybe that's because once their guy reaches the mountaintop, they don't feel like they need to be as vocal or as part of that fan base. I don't know. But I will tell you that the reactions have gotten a little bit different, both online and in the building. The theme song, it's a bop. Everybody loves it. Just like Kenny's, I think it's Battle Cry. They love that stuff too. So, yes. And FTR, that's like booty shaking music, whatever they call that. So, I mean, the entrance works, but I don't know. I'm starting to feel like once Will wins the championship, because it's going to happen, what happens after that? And that's always the biggest thing. It happened with Cody in WWE, I'm invested to see what they do afterwards, truthfully.
And anybody, because I'm invested as well. Him and I were talking privately. I don't want what happened with Cody's second run, right? When Cody won it for the second time.
You got to give him a run, though, Jordan. That's the thing. He's got to have this run. AEW is paying this man a lot of money, and he's given a lot of perks and everything else like that. We need to pull the trigger, and then we need to see what he's made of, and then that's it. I think Will's going to shine, but I just don't know if the crowd's going to be,
Well, because like Cody, I think he's a person who's better on the chase. I think you want him to get it. He will get it. He needs to, but I think it's easier to be invested in Will Ospreay when he's chasing after, when he has a motivation to strive after. Hannibal, Grumpy, I see your gears.
Grumpy, Dev, Loose. How long has Will been in AEW for?
He's signing late 23.
All right, so we're 3 years into a 5-year deal.
Yeah. All right. So 24, officially 24. 23 they announced he was signing. I think he joined at the beginning of 24. But bygones. Do you know what I think the biggest problem with Ospreay, from what I've seen online from people talking about him, is I think people don't relate to him. And the reason for that, and I tried to explain this, it's very hard to do because even Lucy won't get this. Will is very much from where he's from, which is where I'm from. But he's more the stereotype than I am.
But I think that's a quality that pulls me to him in terms of like what I'm not, anybody could be a redneck American or there's, you know what I'm saying? I think there's
but I think the problem is for every you, there's like 2 or 3 that are like, it just doesn't appeal to me. It's too foreign to me. And I'm not saying that, Will sits there making like, quips about British culture or anything like that. But what I mean is, he talks a bit like me. He doesn't have the same cadence. He doesn't have the same way of cutting promos. He does things in quite a unique way compared to a lot of people. And the thing is, when you do something that's not the norm, it will bring some people in, but it will also push some people away. And I think because Will has kind of like continued on that path, and the fact as well that I think, with a lot of people in AEW, they're kind of given their opportunities to write their promos, to do things how they want to do it. They don't have somebody in their ear saying you've got to do it like this, you've got to do it like that, or Triple H showing them how to do things. And I think
like MJF calling his shot on Wednesday. Cat's out of the bag.
I just think it kind of, as much as it's attracted to some, it pushes some people away. I think the big tell will be if he does win at Wembley, which he obviously should do, is what the crowd reaction is like then once he's champion. And that will be telling. And I think that will also tell the story of how long this run is going to be. Because I think he should have a long run. And I think it's time for someone we've had a couple of short reigns now, to have a bit more of a longer run. But I think Tony's going to listen to the crowd and see what the reaction is like before making that long-term booking decision. So
I think you're right with the last point, especially how they've kind of went from MJF to Darby to MJF to Omega, that they're giving the title changes now, because once Will gets that championship, I think it's going to be a long run. And I told Jordan, I think it could be very reminiscent to Shawn's 96 run, the boyhood dream. And then he's got to find somebody to take the wheels off that wagon. And then hopefully the crowd doesn't not stay with Will. I don't know. Am I the only one who feels this way about Will? Am I nuts? I mean, Hannibal said it, Jordan, Grumpy, Lucy.
Grumpy, what do you
nuts?
think?
I've said this before, that storyline wise for Will, I feel like he hasn't gone through enough in his return. He hasn't gone through enough struggle. He hasn't gone through enough of the pain of coming back and getting back to his former self. He looks great, but I feel like there's okay, this is kind of a rock and a hard place. It's right place, wrong time, because you don't know if you're going to be going back to Wembley next year for All In, so it's kind of now or never for him to win in front of his home crowd, in front of his home country. But at the same time, I think there's more meat on the bone of him trying and failing and having to go back to Moxley, and then Moxley having to push him even harder to go back and try again. So, like I said, it's kind of right place, wrong time. So, I don't know. I could go either way. Like, I could think about this, and in 10 minutes I'll have a different answer. But, yeah, I'm kind of stumped.
I think the time is upon us, though. I think pull the trigger and see what happens.
I mean, you got to. Lucy, what do you think?
I think that the online wrestling fans are a tiny, tiny percentage of the people who will be at Wembley Stadium. I think 99.9% of the people at Wembley will want to see the guy that's probably the most famous British wrestler in the world. They will want to see him win. They'll cheer Kenny.
Jimmy Hater's
they're going to be
tag
behind
belts,
us.
yeah. So what are we talking about?
No, I mean, Lucy's not wrong, though. The vocal minority is the IWC. I mean, they're less than 9% of your total audience, if that. So I think people in Wembley are going to go absolutely bananas for Will's win. And it's all about what they do afterwards. I think AEW would benefit from a 3-week European tour, truthfully, and keep that momentum rolling.
Absolutely. I think because I know there's a bunch of unique venues across the pond that they would love to take advantage of. and I think they 100% should do so. Like,
Lucy, I've got an idea.
Oh God.
what's
Right.
that?
Because we're
brace
doing
myself.
SummerSlam 92, let's bring something else back from around the same kind of period. And I think to really get people invested in Wembley, really get people through those doors, those big ass doors at Wembley, the Will Ospreay National Express. Sending him on tour up and down the UK, making stops
Like
in
the
that
Lex
big-ass
Express.
coach.
But
Okay,
they didn't have the
okay.
Lex Express in
Have-
Wembley.
No, but
No.
But you'll
Have
have
you
the Will
seen-
Ospreay.
well, I know how they should do it. Have you seen the video of Alex Windsor pushing a drunk Will Ospreay in a shopping trolley?
Yes. Yes, that is hilarious.
Have her do that. Push him out at Wembley in the shopping trolley, and then she takes it with her so she can get her pound back when she returns it. But yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Have them come out on motorcycles like LOD did. That's what you should do.
That's too cool for an Essex boy.
Oh, you
No.
know what? Hang
The
on.
best thing to do is a pogo stick.
Jokes aside, Andrew,
Mm.
get Mercedes Monet to do that and have
Oh,
me
yeah.
Monet on the front like Rocker.
Good. Bingo.
Or in a little sidecar.
How you thinking?
See, yeah, no, it works. Like I said, I'm excited for this main event. I'm ready for this main event, but I want to allude to something somebody said in the comments. Will Ospreay is just the sign of Kenny's momentum being stopped, and I think that's another reason why people are having a tough time to kind of buy into Will Ospreay.
I'm gonna say this with all due respect to all those people. I think Kenny Omega is looking to wind down. And I don't say I think. I don't want to break trust, but I know for a fact that Kenny wants to wind down. And I'll leave it at that. It's not he's not going like he used to in 2020, 2021,
Yeah.
2022.
When you've been wrestling 20 plus years at this point, you know what I mean? There's
that last injury
infamous,
took a lot out of him in terms of like what's important too.
and then there's that infamous bump card. You know what I mean? And there's only so many before you start running out of space on that bump card. And I think Kenny's close to getting a few of his last punches out. I wouldn't mind him calling it quits. I'll put it to you like this:
Kenny
I think
and the Bucks. Bucks are going to get a tag title run here, and I think you never know what's coming.
I think if it is true, and tea leaves are saying it, so I think he would be the greatest wrestler to never hit WWE, and I think that is one of the coolest things for his legacy.
I will never say never on the WWE stuff, but I think Kenny would probably entertain the offer, but I think he would more than likely stay on as an agent and wrestle here and there than he would in AEW than he would to jump to WWE. I don't know if you guys talked about this though. We have the Young Bucks and Cope and Christian kind of teasing each other. And the rumors were that we're going to get a 3-way ladder match at Wembley. I don't think that's going to be the case. But I do think that maybe after, I'm just going to present this and you tell me if it's creatively bankrupt. And this is kind of like a wink and a nod. I think we're going to have a singles match with Copeland and Cage, a singles tag team match, not a trio. It's just a regular tag team match where it's Cope and Cage versus the Young Bucks for the tag titles because everyone wants to see it. FTR returns. I don't know who wins. Sets up the triple threat ladder match in Chicago, and the New Day, or whatever they're going to call themselves, debuts in Chicago. What do you think?
Have you seen the video that Motor City Machine Guns have just put out though as well? So
I did. I think both of them are headed to AEW, but I think New Day is
so you
like
don't go four-way.
Yeah, New Day's a slam dunk home run for AEW, especially if you put the championships on the Bucks after Cope and Cage.
Can I just ask, Dev?
Yes.
After hearing what Andrew just said there, and the fact that we might not be getting a three-way all in, how do you feel?
I think the New Day should be a part of whatever that 3-way is going to be. There will be a 3-way, at least one 3-way at All In.
So wants it.
Before we let you go, Drew, and I want to say thank you for coming on and whatnot. I got one last kind of tidbit.
Show. Anybody who doesn't watch this show and likes wrestling, get your brain checked.
Get your brain checked. Thank you. What did you think? How are you feeling about Mercedes Monet's injection back into the fold right now. I am not a big fan of her linking up with Divine Dominion. It seems kind of lazy to me. We had this big monumental kind of moment waiting for her, and now it feels so predictable, feels so planned out that like some of the specialness is kind of gone for me.
I think
I want to ask the room, but I want to start with you.
Yeah, it's both, though. I mean, Will Ospreay and Monet are going to win their respective championships at All In. I mean, I think you have to. And at that point, I understand where you're coming from. You share the same feelings and sentiments that a lot of fans do because, I don't know, Monet won every championship that was available on God's green earth besides WWE branded stuff and then had to drop all of them. So people were kind of waiting for all of those dominoes to fall. And now she's back and she's getting a world championship opportunity again. So people are like, what the hell? But when you have a talent like Monet, you do it. You just do it. You pull the trigger. We'll see the different feuds that she's going to have. I believe this is the one championship that has eluded her, correct? Is that, or am I? Yeah. Sometimes I forget.
It's the one. Yeah.
So both mountaintops will be climbed, one by Monet, one with Will. Everybody online will post that gif of them dancing backstage when Ospreay's doing that thing and whatever. So it's going to happen. But I think putting the championship on Monet has dividends in terms of a potential free agent headed AEW's way that is best friends with Monet. That's just my assumption. I think they're going to try and keep Monet very, very, very happy, and they should.
Dev, what do you think? You are kind of one of our Monet experts. What do you think about her reinsertion into the card?
No, I'm no expert on such thing, but I agree. Carlos mentioned how a lot of Ospreay's momentum feels forced, and it really made me think, even down to the Owen Hart, like the very few brackets we had. Jack Perry, Mark Davis, round 2. That's a crazy bracket. Like that was like you couldn't make the winner more predictable, and the same feels with Mercedes, but I think her latest run is more impressive because of how competitive her matches are. I think she managed to suspend belief for Maya World and Hazuki, but especially Maya World. That back and forth was really good. Dave Meltzer's still speechless. You know what I mean? He's been keeping up with him.
God bless you, Dave.
That's funny. Grumpy, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Grumpy. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Grumpy, what do you think about Mercedes? Because you and I feel a certain way about Divine Dominion, right? And I feel like they've been on the shelf, and now they're just linked her with Mercedes. This kind of feels, lazy.
That's a positive, Jordan.
I'm going to say that the Mercedes and Divine Dominion is more of an association of convenience and not an official faction. People are saying it's a faction. Until the three of them cut a promo together on TV saying that they're a faction, I will not believe it. I think that they all just happen to have enemies that they're in the ring at the same time. So, and it's a moot point anyway because my Brawling Birds are going to win those belts at Wembley. And
again, predictable though.
But Jordan, it was either the tag team titles or it was Windsor winning the world championships. You better pick and choose.
Mercedes needs more friends too on screen. I think it just works in her favor.
You know what grinds my gears?
Have some friends.
Where is Swerve Strickland? Even though Swerve comes from my neck on Twitter, and I love the guy. Where is Swerve Strickland? Swerve, if you're watching, where are you? What's going on here?
For all year long, it's been they give Swerve a little push and then they stop him. They give Swerve a little push and then they stop him. He's had so many stop starts. It's getting really frustrating.
I think the thing with Swerve is he's at that level of which all he has to do is continue to compete for the world title. Like he can't go low. His stock, his status, his stature, you can't go like.
But Jordan, where is he?
I think he's waiting for the results of Redemption and or All In.
I didn't hear Lucian Monet, so I apologize. Lucy,
no, please. Yeah,
gotta go back to Lucian.
Oh, no, guys, you've absolutely covered it. Yeah, totally agree on she's not in a faction with Divine Dominion. Divine Dominion, to me, are dropping the titles soon because I'm hoping that means Penelope Ford will come back, chase the titles with Cross, leaving Megan Bain to go on a singles run, but Not that I'm suspiciously squinting at the person who might be in the know to see if there's any sort of tell here. How good is he at poker, guys?
It's been fun. I love all of you.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for having me. Jordan, Hannibal, Grumpy,
Yes.
Dev, Lucy, always good seeing you guys. And
You
girls,
too.
I'm going to go eat.
What time are we on next week? Are we on next week?
We are definitely on next week because we have a big week. It's Redemption. I'm not going to plug my socials or anything like that because that's not why I come on here. Join the collective, follow Lucy, follow Jordan, follow Hannibal, follow Grumpy, follow Dev. It's good discourse, and that's what this industry needs. Stop telling everybody that your opinion is the right one and theirs are wrong and all this other stuff. It's collective. Thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks, Drew.
Hannibal.
Later, man. Later.
Peace.
I assume he's going to go and watch Brandon Cutler on Ring of Honor, which is on very soon. Yeah.
Yes. So with that said, I think this is a good place to close. We got a little, producer said we got a little bit of an overrun. Thank you to our two people over at Across the Pond. But before we leave, I want you guys to get used to this. We're going to be trying to slowly in the future, we're going to be incorporating this closing segment of the show. We're trying to figure out a fun name, but right now we're going to just keep it fun questions with Lucy. So Lucy, what is your fun question today?
My fun question of the day, and I want everyone to play along because I will be going through the comments and judging them harshly. I may even post a little thread on Twitter judging all of your answers. Okay, nobody knows this question yet. You have been given a chance to shine at karaoke. One night only. The world is watching. You get to pick your song and you get to pick who you are singing it with. They must be a wrestler, but it cannot be a wrestling theme song. You cannot sing Final Countdown with Bryan Danielson.
Okay.
So you get to choose your song and you get to choose either your group or your duet partner. While you're thinking, I will say that my dream is to sing Paradise by the Dashboard Light with John Silver.
Wow.
Wow.
I've got mine.
Okay. All right. Hannibal, go first. Yeah.
This is going to be very niche, except for Lucy, I think.
Okay.
But I would sing Mysterious Girl with Prince Nana.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Hold on. Advocate says Wild Wild West by Will Smith and with Willow Nights.
Wow.
That's a good one. That is a good one. We've got Queen with Jack. That is
wow.
Me.
Graps is right.
I'm doing something easy. I'm doing me and Swerve. We doing Rottweiler by Method Man and Redman. Look it up. Yeah. Grumpy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm doing Rottweiler with Swerve. Yeah. Of course, I'm going to do Redman's parts because Redman's the better rapper out of the two, personally, if you ask me. But yeah, I'm doing Rottweiler with Swerve. Grumpy, Dev, who are you doing a karaoke with? And everybody watching, please, again, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and tell us what wrestler are you singing karaoke with and what song are you guys singing?
Go, Dev.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song with Joe Hendry. And it's a guitar solo.
I thought you were going to say Jaden Dropkick, but okay.
Fucking why?
Because it's Dev.
Because it's Dev.
Just Dev gonna Dev. All right, well, you can't do worse than that. Tell us your...
Carlos, look at that. Beautiful.
The Boys Mind. That is a good one. That is a good one. I like that.
I like good lungs on her, man.
That's not a wrestler.
Well,
he didn't listen.
I'm picking.
She's a talent. She's a talent.
Yeah, she counts.
I'm picking Truth Magnum, and we are singing Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, the opening theme of Top Gun. It's gonna fucking rock, dude.
I think we've got a winner.
I do think we got a winner with that one. That is a really, really good one. Again,
I will keep a tally of who wins. Tell us in the comments who wins.
Yes.
I will count the votes and we'll keep a tally. We'll see who can win at the end of the year.
Yes. I love this. Again, so please, we're going to get used to this. Fun questions with Lucy. It's going to be hopefully a short series, so you guys can be more involved. Because again, with our newfound following, with our newfound momentum, we are a brand for the fans, by the fans, and we look for fan interaction as much as we possibly can. We've got Sean, I'll make a man at it.
No, I've changed my mind. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
It's such a bop.
Amazing.
No. If you're gonna sing a song with John Moxley, you've got to sing "Hungry Like the Wolf."
The wolf.
That's a good one, Sean.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But you and I both know why he shouldn't be singing that song. But so please make sure to tell us in the comments. Make sure to write it in on Twitter. Please make sure to follow everybody here. We want to thank everybody for watching. We want to thank everybody who watched our AEW Starforge video where you got to hear Hannibal's lovely voice. We want to thank all 11,000 of you for watching that. We want to thank everybody 12. Excuse me. Hollywood. We want to thank everybody for watching. Oh, we got another one. Don't Stop Believing with Willow Nightingale. I like that one.
Oh, good. That's good.
She said, "Not stage in between us." You're so funny.
Can I change my song?
What?
Well, it kind of works.
Everybody wants to rule the world with Joe Hendry. Tears for Fears.
Great
Changed
song.
the wrong bit.
Great song.
That's a great song. But again, please make sure. So tell us in the comments, who are you singing karaoke with? What wrestler? And tell us what song. Again, make sure to follow everybody here. We want to thank you. So for Grumpy, for Dev, for Lucy, and for the Hollywood Hannibal, we thank you guys. We will see you next week.
Buckley Rhodes.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Wrestle Collective.